G'day guys, my name's Tommy and today we're going to be editing these 3 portrait photos in the set, so let's jump straight into it. So first of all, I want to show you the photos that I took yesterday. So these portraits were shot inside of a bathroom and we had one side of her face covered with glass and another side with these flowers. So I'm going to quickly show you these 3 images, and these are all unedited at this point and we're just going to jump straight into the edit. So I'm going to edit them in a batch and I'm going to start with maybe just the middle one and see how we go. So first of all, I'm going to quickly go into my basic tab. So I'm going to play around with the highlights and see what I like. I can see that this is touching up just the highlight in the glass area. And now moving to the shadows and seeing what I like there. I quite like the photo by itself already, without any adjustments, so I might just keep this like very minimal. Might keep blacks at 0. I don't usually play around with texture, but I might have a go at clarity. For this photo, I might just increase clarity by 5. And let's see with dehaze, you might just decrease by 5. Saturation, I'm gonna have a go at reducing it by 10. And then I'm gonna go straight into the tone curves. So tone curves is one of those tricky ones where it requires a bit of practice, but I'm gonna go ahead and crush the blacks a little bit to give it more of like an almost like a film look. And then let's see, I'm gonna bring down the highlights a tiny bit as well, but also increase it up here a tiny bit. And then let's just see, let's see what going to the red tone curve does. So I like this color right here, and I might just keep it there. Bit of green, bit of blue, and I might go into the blue channel and make some adjustments as well. I do like the warm look. I think it definitely works for this photo, and the cool side also works pretty nice as well. When we have the photo on the cool side, we definitely see the skin tone pop more. And then when we move it to the warm side, it kind of blends in. Might keep it somewhere in the middle. Just like that. And then moving straight to HSL. Usually what I like to do is just to play around with all the sliders. And I also want to just increase a bit of the orange channel. And see what the yellow channel offers as well. Cool, might increase that a little bit. And let's see what I can do with the blue hue. And then quite like this already. Don't really need to do much. I'm gonna play around with saturation now. Maybe bring out the reds a tiny bit and the orange as well. Actually, I might keep orange as it is. I'm not gonna touch it. And I'm gonna decrease the yellow a tiny bit because that's what's coming in through the walls. And since I want to pop out the skin tones of the face, that's why I'm going to decrease these yellows. And then I think that's all good. I'm going to move straight down to camera calibration now. Oh, sorry, just calibration. And I'm going to play around with the red, green, and blue primaries. So I think this is looking pretty good. I've just shifted the blue hue a little bit. And I'm gonna move around the green slider and see how we like it. Usually when I edit, I just go by eye and then I see what I like. So depending on like my mood or like my momentum, the photos are always gonna change. Cool. Might just increase the saturation a little bit on the green side, and I'm gonna leave red as it is. As you can see, I'm at 4000 ISO because it was quite a dim setting. So I'm gonna increase the grain by only a tiny bit, let's say around 20, and the size at maybe around 40. And then I'm gonna actually I might increase the size to 50 and then roughness at 50 as well. So that gives it like a really nice almost film look. And then I'm going to go into my lens corrections, enable profile corrections, And as you can see, I shot that on the Canon 50 1.8. And I'm gonna bring down the vignetting a tiny bit. I think that gives more focus onto the face. And also I might do a little bit more of vignetting just in the effects tab. And then give it a little bit of sharpening. And go into split toning right here. So if I hold down Option on Mac, I can see what the split toning effect will do at 100% saturation. I quite like the blues around here. I might give this a shot. Somewhere around 210. Slowly increasing it until I find something that I really like. Cool. Yeah, I think somewhere around 20 is looking pretty good. Somewhere around 20 is gonna bring the highlight of the blue mirror and blend it kind of with the walls. And because of that, I'm gonna increase the saturation a tiny bit of the orange. Just a tad. Great. And then I don't think I'm gonna touch shadows just yet. I think that might be all good for now. I might just change up the cropping and composition. So if I go onto here, I'm gonna manually line it up with the glass door and hit enter. And there we go. So that's my first photo done. I'm gonna quickly see how it works out with the other two photos. So I'm gonna hit Shift and select all of them. And now I've got the middle one selected. I'm gonna hit sync right here. And sync basically means that we're gonna synchronize all of the settings that we just made for this one photo and apply it to the other photos. The only things that I'm not gonna apply are the crop settings and the local adjustments. So I'm gonna synchronize right now. And let's see how they worked out with the other photos. So this is the first photo applied with the synchronization. You can see it looks pretty good at the moment. I like the colors, but it looks a little bit blown out. So I might just reduce that a tiny bit, just so we get a bit more of the skin tone. And as you can see here, it looks a little bit blotchy. So I might just play around with the luminance again, just to nail that. I'm gonna reset it first. And it might be something that I need to do in post-production. I'm gonna hit before and after to see. Yeah, it's definitely a texture thing. So I'm gonna bring back a little bit of brightness to this. And let's see with the yellow channel as well. Ooh, it kind of looks really nice when I bring it all the way up. So maybe I'm gonna keep it at around 30. And then I'm gonna manually change the angle as well, just so we get the composition cool. Cool, that's looking pretty good. And then I'm gonna do the same with the third photo. Let's see, so this one looks a little bit underexposed, a little bit more moody. I'm gonna increase the exposure a tiny bit. Cool. And I think I'm pretty good with the rest. I'm gonna just increase the orange a tiny bit as well. Let's see what I can do with the yellows. Probably gonna keep the yellows at around 50. Don't want them too high up for this one because it's covering a little bit of the nose here. But if we quickly look at the before and after of all these photos, so I'm gonna start with the third one. Before and after, that's looking pretty good. The first one that we edited, before and after, great. And then the first one, before and after, great. So let's look at them in a set and see how we like it. Cool, so this is looking pretty nice as a set. I'm really digging the colors here, and the skin tones really pop out as well. Right now we're gonna go into Photoshop to do the final skin adjustments and that kind of thing. And yeah, if you don't know what frequency separation is, basically it's a way of retouching the skin that separates the texture from the color. I'll have a tutorial up in the near future. So right now we're going to go in and quickly readjust the color. So at the moment we can see that there's darker spots of orange and then lighter spots. So I'm going to quickly hit my option and quickly apply it over the darker areas. And hopefully this will smooth out the skin. So I'm going to apply a larger brush just to get more consistency. So now it looks like we only have one inconsistent spot, which is pretty good. And since this will be seen through kind of like a mirror, it's kind of ambiguous anyway. So I think some imperfections we can get away with. And then I'm quickly going to apply the frequency separation to the side of the face as well. Cool. Keep up the highlights here. And also apply it down here. Alright, so now I'm going to zoom out and see how we like it. So this is after, and then before, after, before, after. So we've done quite a bit and it looks definitely a lot smoother. I'm going to quickly apply some more retouching of the color to the neck. Just make it a tad smoother. Doesn't have to be perfect. Cool. And let's see this again. I just bump this up here and just blend it a tiny bit more. Cool. And let's try this again. Before, after, before, after. Great. I think it's looking pretty good. So now this image is done. Let's go to the next one. And that's about it for today's tutorial. If you liked what you saw, feel free to subscribe or follow. I'll leave all the information in the description below. And thank you so much for watching. Good shot, mate.